Hi, this is Mark Laughlin with the Ambidextrous Gunfighter in my little short zeroing series here, and this is the episode where I'm going to do the AR15. It's a BCM RECCE and 5.56 with an ACOG. Now this is the ACOG with the Chevron Optic or Chevron Reticle, and get that closer here. And what you have here on the Chevron Reticle is it's 100 yards right at the point of the reticle. Right underneath this V here, that is 300 yards, then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 800 yards on your reticle. Now I'm going to be zeroing at 25 yards, in which, so I have the option of either putting the 25 yard target as if I'm shooting 300 yards, because of what I want is it to be basically zeroed at 25, and then the distance zero will be about 300 yards. Now, the way this all works is you have your gun barrels right there, and your optics up here, and your sight goes off into the distance in a perfectly straight line. Now your barrel is actually angled up a little bit, and so the round is going to be pointing up, and the plan is to have it meet the line of sight at 25 yards, and then it will continue on and then drop back in at 300 yards. So at 325 and 300 yards is what I want to be my zero. Everything else I can use ballistic tables or actually do testing on it and see what the actual the trajectory is. The bullet doesn't really fly, it's a trajectory. So I'm going to zero at 25. I don't have a long range shooting range here today, so I won't be able to verify out the distance stuff, but I should be pretty close and can, if the boogaloo happens, at least I will be somewhat ready, at least a sort of zeroed rifle. So this is just to get you close. Once you get your 25 zero, then you need to go test all the other ones and make sure your ballistic tables are correct. Now, what I'm going to do, rather than try to put this point on my reticle on the target downrange, which is actually going to be a 4-minute of angle square, I am going to put that 4-minute of angle square right here. I'm going to actually use the 100 yard pointing position rather than the 300 yards, but then I'm going to expect my point of impact to be 4.4 MOA high. So I'm going to shoot for the center of my square and expect my impact to be high. Now, to show you what I'm going to be shooting at, I'm going to be using an Appleseed cider target. And so this is the 4-minute of angle square I'm going to be shooting at. That's 4 minutes of angle at 25 yards, close enough. And so I'm going to be shooting at that and anticipating or positioning my point of impact to be here. Now, since I'm zeroing the rifle, who knows where it's going to hit. So I'm going to start off with 3 rounds, assuming that I call all of them, feel like they're all good shots. And then once I find out where I'm hitting, then I will make adjustments on the ACOG to bring my point of impact here when I aim for here. And then that should be good out to 300 yards, but subject to verification. So let's start. I'm going to be using the loop sling to provide my steady position. I'm not going to be shooting from a bench because, well, I never shoot from a bench out in the field. Now, there are people that do shoot from benches in the field. So if you do shoot, like if you're a prairie dog hunter and you take a bench out in the field, yeah, sure, zero your rifle from a bench. But I think for most people, you should be zeroing from your shooting positions, and the primary position being prone. Depending on how the point of impact is, and I should be able to check it with my scope, the first shot I may just consider it a throwaway as a fouling shot. sweet elbow pads. Okay, I gotta get my natural point of aim. And try to ignore these bugs, these annoying gnats. Exhale, check. Okay, windage is pretty good. I need to shift it down a little bit, so bring my hips forward. Let's do an MPOA check again. Close my eyes. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, looks like my point of impact, looks like the windage is pretty much spot on. It's coming in a little bit low. It's actually kind of into the lower part of the black square. So I'm going to go down and get an accurate measurement of how many minutes of angle it is, and then we'll come back and make an adjustment to the scope. There we can see that was my fouling shot. So yeah, it's pretty close as far as it's hitting, as far as windage. And I could bring it over one click to the right, I think, but we're going to call that the center there. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6.5 minutes of angle up. So 1 minute of angle right and 6.5 up. Okay, the ACOG has 1/2 MOA clicks, and so each click on the adjustment on the ACOG is 1/2 MOA. So for 6.5 up, that'll actually mean 13 clicks, and then for I'll do a half an MOA right, so 1 click right. So 13 clicks up, 1 click right. If you haven't seen it, should perhaps check out my Appleseed prep video on inches, minutes, and clicks. So I need to bring it up 13 clicks. So that's up 13 clicks, and we're going to move it right. We'll move it right 1 click. I almost need my reading glasses to see these, but we're going to move the point of impact right 1 click. All right, let's try this again. I'll have to go through my whole natural point of aim drill again. A little bit low, so bring my hips forward. Lean in, let my sling do the work. Pulled that one, I'm gonna do another one. pulled that one too. Jeez. I need to do one more. All right, well, let's go see what kind of damage we did here. Had a couple I pulled, but I think maybe it needs to go. Maybe it needs to go up a little bit more. We'll see here. Okay, there's the one two I called that I pulled, and so we definitely raised the point of impact a bit. But if I assume that that's my center of impact, I still got 1, 2, 2.5 minutes of angle left to get up on this thing. So one more time I'm going to go back and presumably one more time I'll go back and I'm going to go up 2.5 minutes of angle. Verify 1, 2.5. So 2.5 minutes of angle, that'll be 5 clicks, and then since we're at least on paper, we'll go for this upper left target next time. So I have a clean target. Now I think I did some testing before, and while the ACOG, the Trichicon says my ACOG has 1/2 minute of angle per click, some testing it was about a year ago I did, found that it actually, my ACOG actually is something more like 3/8 minute of angle per click. So 5 clicks up, that's 2.5 minutes of angle. And we are ready to send her again. So again, I get my natural point of aim. Can't try to fudge it. I think maybe I did that a little bit the last time. Shift point of impact a little bit to the right there. Check my NPOA again. Whoops, I shot at the center. I meant to shoot upper left, didn't I? Okay, let's go back and start up here. The upper left is getting too messy down there. Gotta check my NPOA again. Oh, hold on. Reload. Be right back. Didn't expect to use so many rounds. Getting hot. Bugs and hot. Sure makes it hard to concentrate and right, I think she's zeroed. Okay, let's go down and check our point of impact there. I did have notice I shot quite a few rounds, almost 9 I think, but I had a couple that it's kind of a string of them that I thought were not quite right. So here we go. Yeah, here's the 3 that I wasn't comfortable with, and then a nice little group there, which let's check. Let's see where we're at. Point of aim was right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. A little bit high, but I'm going to call that good. And presumably with point of impact there, aiming direct on it for the 100-yard chevron, and this will be on at 100. And then with the bottom of the chevron, it'll be on for 300. And then I have the other reticle lines that move down from 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the cool thing about that reticle is that also the width of those additional lines is about, I think, 19 or 20 inches, which is, you can use that, assuming that you're in combat and you need to range your target, and it's a adult male standing out in the open, which I don't know why they'd be doing that, but assuming they stand out in the open, you've got the width from across the shoulders here about 19 to 20 inches, and so you can put those lines on across their shoulders, and presumably then know what your range is and adjust accordingly. It's Mark Laughlin with the Ambidexter Gunfighter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Next video will be zeroing the SU-16 by Caltech.